How does one recover in the moments upon waking from a nightmare, when no divide exists between the nightmare and waking life? When the light of broad day becomes indistinguishable from the land of bad dreams? When the preposterous graduates from grounds for paranoia to reasonable possibility to present reality? Does one choose to respond by closing the blinds, shutting one's eyes because pain cannot pierce through the secure shelter of self-protection? Or can I choose to not only have the courage to keep my eyes open, but to widen my gaze and let the colors wash over me, which are dull at first, but then so strikingly bright that I must resist the impulse to squint? I recognize that this path requires me to patiently walk with my pain rather than run away from it. And each corner I turn presents a chance for another collision, which would result in new wounds. Yet I trek onwards, trauma in tow, because if safety means staying stuck inside, I will choose reckless vulnerability every time. The gifts on this side of the grass are far too great for me to give up. There are people here whose love makes me lose my perception of lack, and the only hurt that's left is that which comes from laughing too hard. I could spare much more than a few slices from my precious supply of solitude for a cup full of their company. I do not make it difficult for my beloveds to burrow themselves deeply, since what could be stronger than softness in spite of a skin that is scattered with scars? Boredom is nowhere to be found here, because novelty is so bountiful, and an observant eye is the only equipment needed for endless entertainment. I coach my consciousness to quiet its chatter, so I can be more than a marveling spectator, but become inseparable from the miracles themselves. You see, it's not much of a choice after all. Unfettered freedom will always come out on top when pinned against imprisonment by pain or detainment by self-deception. Here is where heaven and hell coincide. Here is where past and future are reconciled. Here is where healing takes place. Here is where it pays to stay awake.